Coach, from a personnel standpoint, what are some of the challenges that you're presented with the roster that you've inherited and what you've got from the recruiting class in terms of where you want to take this team?
Consistent shooting, consistent range shooting. Really right now getting them to understand what spacing means to us. And again, it's not about the pass. And I wasn't there. I wasn't in the program. So it's more about, okay, this is the way we want to play. And that utilization of spacing, how we play out of the corners, how we read the ball but play off how we're being played. I think the next big thing, like right now, I'm scared to death of where our transition defense would be right now. We don't understand how important it is to switch ends. We're starting to switch ends a little bit better on the offensive end. We're not quite grasped. We got to go back on the defensive end with that same sense of urgency. So just little things like that. But in answer to your question, it starts with the shooting, most importantly. Consistent shooting.
Bob on the right.
Basketball first, using the pass
I've embraced it. I knew that. It wasn't like Georgia was an unknown football program. So I knew that walking in, and I embraced that. I think it's fantastic. I'm in a football family, so first and foremost, I always liked football before, but then when you marry into the Harbaughs, you really have no choice. So I've always looked at football. When I was with Tom Izzo at Michigan State, Nick Saban was taking over at Michigan State, so that was the one time that I was around that. So you got a chance to see that connection that Tom and Nick had there and be a part of that and see what happens when you got that kind of synergy between your two coaches like that. And then they also had Ron Mason, who was the hockey coach, in the Hall of Fame, deceased now, but in the Hockey Hall of Fame. So I always wanted something like that. And obviously that wasn't a choice we had at Marquette, but I wanted something like that. So I've loved it. Kirby Smart has been fantastic. I don't see him as much now. Saw him a lot in the spring when we were going to different events and donor meetings. But I think it's more than football. I think the sports there are fantastic. There's championship level coaches there, literally, figuratively, and ones that will be championship level. So I think when you've got that kind of passion for your sports, when you've got that kind of level of academics at your school and atmosphere for your school, there's no reason we can't be successful with it. So I've never looked at it as just being a football school. I've looked at it as being an incredible school for athletics and academics and a football program that sits really well at the front of the front porch.
Front row on the right.
Mm-hmm. I like John. I think he's a good coach. I like him. We've been friends for some time. I've learned a lot from him. We competed at Marquette. We competed at Indiana when he was at Memphis and at Kentucky. And if we're not playing them, that's always a team that I watch. And it's always a team you can learn from. But he's a very good coach.
Any more questions? Here on the left, Mike.
Coach, I hadn't asked you this before. Obviously, Indiana's a different type of program that you took over, but from where you brought that program, how far did you have to go with that program, and what are some of the staples you instilled there, leading that program to a #1 ranking?
Well, that was a complete train wreck, because when we walked in there, we knew we were going on probation. We just didn't know to what level. And we don't have enough time to go over all the things there, but I think the bottom line is the fans really helped us through that. They really helped us through that. And then the students helped us through that. And we never walked in trying to recruit to stay at the level that we were at when we walked in. We wanted to keep building it up. And we had some players like Christian Watford, who lives here in Birmingham, was one of the first major guys to say yes to us. Maurice Creek, who, if anybody remembers one of the Kentucky games, Jerry might remember this, he had 31 points as a freshman against Kentucky, then had 3 major surgeries, in his time. But we wanted to recruit to put ourselves in a position to not only compete, but to win the league. And so that was a different story. This, we're inheriting some really good people. It's a different style of play, per se. There we had 28 points, literally come back in one player. So whether it was scholarships or whether it was walk-ons, everything was different. And so there's no comparison to that, but this is one where we've just got to continue to help these guys grow in the way that we want to play. Build on the character that's here as we recruit to the way we want to play and to the style of play that we want to have, and continue to help these guys that are the foundation of the program right now keep getting better and better inside of that.
Anything
Anybody else? All right, thank you very much.